The history of cybersecurity is written in the aftermath of major incidents, where the failures of the past provide the most reliable blueprints for the defenses of the future. We are analyzing past cybercrime cases to extract the specific technical and legal lessons that can strengthen your internal incident response playbooks and organizational resilience. Typically, an organization that studies the war stories of others can avoid the expensive and reputation-damaging mistakes that occur during a high-pressure investigation. In practice, these case studies serve as a laboratory where we can observe how specific technical decisions were viewed by judges, regulators, and the public. What this means is that we are moving beyond theoretical planning to a state of grounded, evidence-based preparation that accounts for the harsh realities of the modern legal landscape. Before we continue, a quick note. This audio course is a companion to our course companion books. The first book is about the exam and provides detailed information on how to pass it best. The second book is a Kindle-only ebook that contains 1,000 flashcards that can be used on your mobile device or Kindle. Check them both out at cyber.Author.me in the Bare Metal Study Guide series. Case studies reveal consistent and predictable attacker patterns and, perhaps more importantly, the specific legal mistakes that companies frequently make during the chaotic early stages of a digital investigation. By examining the public records of previous breaches, we can see exactly where communication broke down or where the chain of custody was compromised. In practice, many organizations fail not because their technical tools were inadequate, but because their administrative and legal responses were disorganized or lacked professional transparency. Typically, these historical records provide a clear list of red flags that can be used to audit your own current readiness and response capabilities. Understanding these patterns allows your team to anticipate the moves of both the malicious actor and the legal opposition with much greater accuracy. A fundamental requirement for any senior practitioner is to practice by taking a famous data breach and identifying the exact moment the legal team should have been formally involved to protect the organization's interests. In many historical cases, the delay between the technical discovery and the legal escalation was the primary factor that led to massive fines or unfavorable court rulings. In practice, you should look for the specific technical indicators such as the unauthorized access to a database that should have triggered an immediate notification to the General Counsel. Typically, this exercise helps the team develop the muscle memory needed to recognize the threshold where a technical glitch becomes a legal crisis. What this means is that you are using the failures of others to train your own judgment and to refine your organization's timing. A frequent and highly dangerous pitfall in corporate security management is the tendency to ignore historical precedents and to assume that your current response plan is already perfect and beyond improvement. This complacency trap often occurs when an organization has gone a long period of time without a major incident, leading to a false sense of security regarding its internal processes. In practice, the threat landscape and the legal expectations of the court are constantly evolving, meaning a playbook that was written 3 years ago is likely outdated and legally vulnerable. Typically, the most resilient organizations are those that treat their response plans as living documents that must be constantly updated with new intelligence and case law. This realization highlights why a commitment to continuous learning and external analysis is a non-negotiable part of professional governance. You can achieve a significant and immediate quick win for your governance program by adding one specific, actionable lesson from a recent court ruling to your current incident response checklist. For instance, if a recent judgment emphasized the importance of documenting compensatory controls during a breach, you should ensure that a dedicated section for this exists in your technical reports. In practice, these small, incremental updates ensure that your team is always operating according to the most current professional and legal standards. Typically, this level of attention to detail is what demonstrates due diligence to an auditor or a judge during a subsequent investigation into your own practices. What this means is that you are using the judicial system as a real-time feedback loop to sharpen your organization's defensive edge. Visualize your response team following a refined and highly professional playbook that was built on the hard-won experience and the painful lessons of others who have faced similar threats. In this scenario, there is no panic or confusion, as every member of the team knows exactly what to do, who to call, and how to document their technical findings for the legal department. Typically, this level of preparedness creates a calm and disciplined environment where mistakes are minimized and the organization's interests are protected at every stage. In practice, the goal of a playbook is to remove the decision fatigue that occurs during a crisis, allowing the responders to focus on the technical and legal facts. This visualization serves as a powerful reminder that the energy you spend on preparation today is what ensures your success when the pressure is highest. In the professional world of incident management, we use the specific phrase after-action report to describe the formal, written document where you record the specific lessons learned from every single security incident or drill. This report should honestly evaluate what went well and, more importantly, what failed during the response, providing a clear list of recommendations for improving the playbook. In practice, the after-action report is the primary tool for closing the loop between a technical event and a strategic organizational improvement. Typically, these reports are reviewed by both the technical leadership and the legal counsel to ensure that all identified gaps are addressed with a sense of professional urgency. What this means is that you are using the digital truth of your own experiences to build a more resilient and self-aware enterprise. Reviewing these case lessons on a regular basis helps you to accurately anticipate the specific types of evidence and documentation that regulators and insurance carriers will ask for months after the incident is over. When you know that the Office for Civil Rights or a state attorney general focused on access logs in a similar case, you can ensure that those logs are preserved with extra care during your own response. In practice, this foresight allows the organization to build its defense file in real time, rather than trying to reconstruct the facts a year later when memories have faded and data has been purged. Typically, the organizations that survive regulatory scrutiny are those that anticipated the questions and had the documented answers ready before they were even asked. This focus on future requirements is what ensures your response remains legally sound and fully defensible. Imagine the professional satisfaction of avoiding a massive, multi-million-dollar fine simply because your team learned from another company's public failure to properly secure and encrypt their offline backup data. By observing the specific regulatory pain points of your peers, you can proactively close those same gaps in your own environment before they are ever exploited by a malicious actor. Typically, the most expensive lessons are those that you have to learn for yourself through a direct loss or a legal sanction. In practice, the study of case law provides you with a form of legal intelligence that is just as valuable as the technical threat intelligence you receive from your security vendors. This realization highlights why the analysis of historical failures is a foundational part of a modern, proactive, and business-aligned security strategy. Every professional should anchor their internal response playbooks in the technical and legal reality of the current threat landscape rather than relying on outdated theories or generic industry templates. A playbook that does not account for the complexities of modern cloud environments or the speed of automated ransomware is a liability that can lead to a disorganized and ineffective response. In practice, this means performing regular, tabletop exercises where the team tests the playbook against a realistic scenario derived from a recent real-world breach. Typically, the most successful organizations are those that find the gaps in their plans through these controlled simulations rather than during a live and high-stakes crisis. What this means is that your playbooks are a direct reflection of your professional commitment to organizational survival and technical excellence. We have now looked at how to systematically turn legal history and technical failures into actionable steps that your team can use to protect the organization's assets and its legal standing. By distilling the lessons of the past into a structured response framework, you are ensuring that your organization remains a resilient and reliable participant in the digital economy. Typically, the most effective practitioners are those who can communicate the legal takeaways of a case to their technical peers and the technical takeaways to their legal counsel. In practice, this integrated perspective is what allows the organization to move with speed and certainty during the most challenging moments of an investigation. This focus on historical analysis ensures that your governance program is always grounded in the absolute best practices of the industry. A highly effective and eye-opening technique is to use actual court testimonies and deposition transcripts to understand exactly how your technical actions and reports will be questioned by an aggressive opposing counsel. Reading how a forensic expert was cross-examined on their hashing methods or their chain of custody provides a rare and valuable glimpse into the adversarial nature of the legal system. In practice, this helps the technical team understand why the boring administrative tasks of documentation and verification are so critical for the success of the case. Typically, seeing the end result of an investigation in a courtroom helps to motivate a much higher level of professional rigor in the lab. What this means is that you are using the reality of the courtroom to drive the excellence of your technical forensic and response operations. Distilling these case lessons ensures that your internal response strategy is firmly grounded in real-world legal outcomes and technical successes rather than in academic theories or unverified assumptions. When your playbook is built on the hard-won experience of the entire industry, it carries a level of authority and professional weight that is respected by judges, regulators, and insurance carriers. Typically, a mature organization is one that recognizes its own vulnerabilities and looks to the broader community for the knowledge needed to close those gaps. In practice, the energy you spend on analyzing the failures of the past today is a direct investment in the long-term legal and financial health of your company. This focus on the lessons learned is what ensures that your governance program remains a verified, trusted, and highly effective reality. This analysis session on how to distill cybercrime case lessons into practical response playbooks is now complete, and you have gained a solid understanding of how to learn from the history of your field. We have discussed the definition of an after-action report, the value of studying landmark breaches, the importance of timing in legal escalation, and the necessity of constant playbook refinement. A warm and very practical next step for your own professional growth is to take a moment today and read at least one detailed summary or news report of a major data breach from 2024. As you read, try to identify the specific technical or administrative failures that led to the incident and consider whether your own organization's current playbook would have prevented a similar outcome. Moving forward with this observant and disciplined mindset will help you ensure that your organization's defenses are always alert, informed, and fully defensible.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit DailyCyber.News.